Hey guys, Philip here. Today I am doing an update video on my game development project, Starshot Onslaught. The footage shown is of my most recent test with the game engine. I will be going over the most recent features that I have added to the game, as well as future intended updates. First up, the universal character sheet has been added to the game. This sheet contains every character animation and color palette that is currently in the game. The hairstyle sheet has also been added to the game. This sheet contains hairstyles for all player and NPC characters. The NPC class has been implemented as well. This class contains all actions and values for any NPC in the game. I have also added a general AI, although this is subject to change and update. The player class has been added to the game. This class contains all variable characteristics for any player who spawns in the game. The previous implementation of the player was hard-coded into the engine itself. With the release of this class, all player features can be changed at runtime. This opens the possibility of having multiplayer in future updates. Health and scoring have also been implemented as characteristics of the player class. Health is now affected by collision with an enemy object such as mecha spiders you see in the demonstrated video. In addition, a sprite font has been added to the game. This allows the game to write readable text to the screen. Completed a project conversion from Visual Studio 2010 XNA framework to Visual Studio 2017 monogame framework. The game engine can now utilize the monogame content pipeline, which allows it to load resources like sprite images and sound directly without the need to convert them into a framework readable format like XNB. Procedurally generated NPCs have also been implemented with the release of the NPC class. With each instance of the class, the game randomly assigns the object a number corresponding with each of its characteristics, such as its name, gender, or hairstyle. Upcoming additions and fixes include the clothing style and expressions sheet. This will allow for more unique looking NPC and player characters to be generated. Real world sound effects are also in the works currently, but it may be a while before they're implemented. More tweaks are planned for the universal character sheet to lessen the amount of jumping each frame does and remove runover. Tweaks to the NPC action module, which is located in the NPC class, will allow for more free animation movement. Currently, the NPCs are rigid and barely show their animation sequence. Updates are planned for ground collision detection to determine the appropriate action to take. This will prevent the player from getting stuck headfirst in a floating platform that has the same object ID as the floor. The current default action is to turn off gravity for the player when the player collides with an object tagged with the floor ID. This prevents them from falling through the map. Implementing fixes for the loading sprites larger than 8,000 by 8,000 pixels. My last workaround broke down with the transition from Visual Studio 2010 to Visual Studio 2017. Most likely the fix will be image splitting and stitching, although nothing is confirmed at this moment. Multiplayer is also intended as a feature, although it's farther off than most other objects. The polar coordinate system is planned and will become more evident as time progresses, and I currently don't want to spoil anything in regards to what this system entails. There are also several additional object classes that are planned as well, including inventory objects, and as well as menu options and character modifications. And directional aiming with the mouse is also planned as well. Future features that are planned include 2D planetary travel with no load screen. Essentially, once you've escaped the gravity of the planet, you're free to travel anywhere. A crafting system with a lean towards weapon crafting. Weapons can be deconstructed and used for parts. Procedurally generated weapons will be added to the game at some point. And mouse interaction with grids, inventories, and consoles will also be added. Planets will also be destructible with cores that will essentially kill a player in one hit if they were to fall into them. And autonomous machine crafting, such as mech spiders and orbital laser cannons, will be added to the game. The ability to hire NPCs hiring NPCs to help you will also be a thing. This includes the ability to change their clothing, inventory, and weapons. The ability to build ground structures such as bases, forts, and platforms, etc., will also be added to the game, part of the core game experience. And vehicle crafting using a grid system in which parts will lock together to add functionality will be implemented at some point in time in the future. Portals will be craftable and allow players quick travel from one planet's surface to another in a short amount of time. There will be a story mode that will be added, as well as a questing system, which will give the game an overall theme, as well as provide objectives to strive towards. And finally, an orbital weapons, which will be craftable from the anonymous crafting station, such as like the mech spiders that were mentioned. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe or comment on the video below if you have any questions about the Starshot project.